What's up guys, it's BD here and the Logitech G303 is back. Yes, it finally happened. If anybody was going to make this happen, it would be the GOAT Shroud. He was a long-time user of this mouse. He actually switched over to the G Pro wireless, but we all knew from his reaction that that wasn't going to last. So he got with Logitech and he recreated one of his favorite mice, the G303. A lot has changed, so we're going to get into all the specifics today. Before we begin, I want to send a quick shout out to all of you guys who went back to the old G303 video where I called out Logitech saying that we needed a refresh of this shape. Well, here we have it. So thank you guys who went back and commented on that. I see y'all. So let's start with the obvious. It is now wireless. No more horrendous braided cable like we had on the original. Now we have wireless. It's got Logitech's top of the line Lightspeed wireless in there. It still hasn't failed me to this day, and this mouse is no different. It's super solid in everyday use and gaming. It's trusted at the highest level of competition these days. I trust Logitech wireless more than any other company, so they really nailed it again with this mouse. Not only that, they also increased the battery life of their mice. Before it was around 80 with the super light. Now we're up at 145 hours. Insane. They're competing with Final Mouse now, which nobody else is doing. Finally, we're seeing some nice strides towards some amazing battery life. That's probably going to get you about a month to a month and a half of gameplay with this mouse. They actually switched over to USB-C. Hallelujah. We don't have to complain anymore like we did with the Superlight. I suspect they didn't change it on the Superlight because they used the old casings and old material from the old one and just took out some parts and made a new mouse. This one, on the other hand, is built from the ground up with all new tech in it. Speaking of removing things, Logitech actually removed the little KG RGB on the back side as well as on the logo on the mouse. I kind of miss it, not gonna lie. That would have been sick if they could have included it here, but that no doubt would have added to the weight. On the back side of the mouse, they've also added in a place where you can store the receiver instead of like on the bottom where we see most mice these days. So the shell has this translucent on the sides, and then on the top it's that same material that they use for like the Superlight. I love the way that Logitech does their coating, soft to the touch but doesn't get too slippery once it gets in your hand. In fact, on Logitech mice it actually does the opposite and it sticks to your hand more. The weight is coming in at 74 grams, and I would have thought this would have been a red flag for me. When I first saw the weight, I was a little disappointed, but after using it, it's another story. It's actually really well balanced. Logitech, if they know how to do anything, is how to balance a mouse, and this one feels great in the hand. Now the weight is more towards the back of the mouse, but since this little hump in the back is going to go into your palm, it actually balances out the weight more. I'd say in the hand, this feels like it's a 65-gram mouse. Logitech added PTFE feet on here on the new G303 as well. There's 3 in total and they glide very nicely. A big change from the original that had a ton of mouse feet on the bottom. It's kind of crazy looking back at that. Moving on to the shape. The shape is what actually made this mouse famous because there's no other mouse like it. And to my knowledge, nobody even tried to copy this shape. There's no copycats, so that makes this mouse even more special at the moment. It's a little wider and a little taller than the original. It's definitely noticeable when you grip the mouse. The original G303 is a little bit more slender and low profile. It has a small squared off butt, fat hips, and a small stomach at the front. There's a hump in the middle and the buttons are flat, and this actually makes your fingers feel like they're on a steep slope. This mouse is the definition of a claw grip mouse. The shape literally makes it impossible to do any other grip style comfortably. Palm grip is impossible. If you do get your palm on there, it's going to be hard to hit the front mouse 1 and 2 buttons. Fingertip grip can be used, but it's not optimal. The hips are just so wide that it makes fingertip grip feel awkward to me. So what you have to do is plant that palm into that butt. So where this mouse is most powerful is claw grip. When you're able to use your thumb and your pinky to pivot and pull back the little hips on the sides, it's gonna feel fantastic. You're gonna have a ton of control with this mouse. All right, if you're enjoying this content, guys, hit that sub button down there. A sub to the channel would be amazing. All right, so let's talk about the buttons a little bit. The scroll wheel is different than their other mice. It's not textured or ridged. It's a smooth scroll wheel, just like the original. Nice defined steps, but they're also very light, definitely harder than the G Pro Superlights. The side buttons are placed more towards the top of the mouse instead of near the middle like most common mice. This means you'll have to lift your thumb over the hip and hit the side buttons. This can be a problem if you like to bind abilities to the sides because it will take more effort to hit them. And the last thing you want to be doing is worried about where your side buttons are in a tense situation. So if you really like side buttons and you really like to bind stuff and you play like competitive FPS shooters and you bind stuff, abilities, it's not the best. I'll just tell you that. The DPI button is up top. It's more indented than the original, which I like because you're less prone to hitting it. All right, guys, let's drop a sound test so you can hear what this mouse sounds like. Not bad, not bad if I do say so myself. The mouse 1 and 2 are clicky, the scroll wheel is nice and defined, the side buttons are very light and tactile. Overall, they did a really good job on the build quality of this mouse. The Logitech 25K sensor performs so good that it's not even worth talking about. It won't let you down. It seems like they haven't added this to the software yet, the Logitech G software, which I don't like anyways, but the default is 400, 800, 1600, and 3200 for the DPIs. So I gotta say, this is one of the best mouse drops of the year, point blank period. It's a great mouse if you can fit it in your hand. That's literally the only catch when it comes to this mouse. It forces your hand into a relaxed claw grip. For some, it's going to work very well, for others, not so much. It took me about a week and a half to get used to the shape, but now that I am, it feels right at home. Now, if you're strictly fingertip grip or palm grip, just skip the G303. If you're not willing to switch off of those into what this mouse makes you hold the mouse like, then it's not for you. Just save your $130. While we're on the topic of that Gouda, $130 doesn't seem too bad to me, especially since they are doing things that other companies aren't doing. 145 hours of battery life is just insane. They've got great buttons, the build quality feels amazing, the weight is good, they've got a very unique shape that nobody else is doing. Sure, there's probably a Shroud tax on there, but for what you're getting here, it's a solid performer. So Logitech, this is me giving you your flowers. You guys did an amazing job on this mouse. You built it from the ground up with the best tech, and you guys created one of the best mice of the year. So like I said, if this mouse fits your grip style, definitely consider getting it. It's a small to medium sized mouse, so for large-handed users you might find it a little bit cumbersome, but at this point this mouse is so good that even if you have large hands, I say try it out, because normally you don't even see a mouse with this shape. So it's very fun to test out this new shape, especially if you never tried the OG one. All right guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. Like the video, really helps the channel, and I will see you in the next one. It has been your boy BT saying peace.